Hello everyone, it's Arafai here, and I'm going to do something a little different for this episode of All Talk, No Shock. So today is pretty much a quick one. I want to talk to you about some of the upcoming big bots and some of the big bots we've already had. So what I really want to talk about is how big is too big, and is it too big already? Is it just getting silly? Is there a market for us? Well, let's take a look at what we've got.
All talk, no shock.
So I'll start off with one of the smaller, but one of the upcoming options, which is Legacy Metroplex. And this is apparently going to come in at 22 inches tall, which I think you'd say is probably around Titan height, standard Titan height, there or thereabouts. And we've got quite used to these in our collection now, really, from Titan's Return, Fortress Maximus and Scorponok, and even the Ark. They're quite standard, they're quite set. So this will be enough to see us through. Whether you're into this design or not, the Titan scale is pretty much here to stay. But going the next size up on that, we look at what came from before with the Hazlab Unicron, and in robot mode this stands at a whopping 33.5 inches to the top of its planetary rings. Now this was meant to be the exceeding standard. This was Hasbro really going some and saying this is we want this to be beyond Titan, as it should be. Unicron is in a class of his own. So to break the scale and to break the mold, this is, I don't want to say an acceptable height, but it's worthy of its own category. And whilst I and a few other collectors will look at this and say that's too big for me, it doesn't scale with anything else in my collection, not really, not in robot mode, then that's really not for me. But what actually goes bigger? So we look at the next offering, which is the third-party company of Like Toys, Hertz Lionel Hertz, depending how you want to look at it, and the Metroplex that's coming. Now we've seen this, and whilst I think it's really interesting to see how far this has been along in development and how much engineering is involved and what you can do with this, it's got a lot of bells and whistles. This is coming in at a whopping 48 inches or 121 centimeters tall in robot mode. Now, I would guess that's up to the extended shoulder cannons rather than just the head. That is still very, very big, and this is on a scale we haven't seen before. I mean, think about this as a toy, as a collection. This is going to stand in at 4 feet tall. There are some humans that do not stand that tall yet in their lives, and that is going to fit in your collection. I'm not going to doubt that it's not impressive. I'm not going to say that this isn't a feat of engineering, but it does make me wonder why. But I'll come on to that in a second, because we're not done yet. The next biggest offering as it stands is allegedly the Fans Toys attempt at Fortress Maximus, which is coming in at 50 inches tall in robot mode, and that is going to be from feet to the head, which of course the head has already been released. 50 inches, so that's going to be a little over 4 foot tall. I think, okay, let's talk about these last two then, the Like Toys Metroplex and the Fans Toys Fortress Maximus. I can see why someone's going for it, in as much as they haven't been done on this scale in the third party world, but it's more to be looked as a accolade to do and a hurdle to clear and a feat of engineering more so than anything else. What I can't help but think is, how can any third party company really turn a profit on this? This is going to cost a lot of money to make when you think of the tolerances, the weight of the joint, the assembly and the shipping alone. I think with the Like Toys Metroplex, you're going to have to do some assembly yourself outside the boxes. And I'm not talking just slotting stuff in. I think you're going to have to go in with a screwdriver, if I'm led to believe that correctly. Fans Toys, of course, have really got a head start on this. They have decided to go ahead with this because the head is very much what they have released. You can buy the Headmaster of Cerebros turning into Fortress Maximus head already, meaning that there will be at least 2 to 3 more parts just to ship the body alone, and it will come out in stages, which I think our wallets will be very grateful for. But Is this too big to have a 4-foot working transformer? And I'm sure it will be full of die cast, and I'm sure the paint will be exquisite, but your collections will have to be, I'll say that again, your entire collections will have to be adjusted to house these bots. If you're thinking of getting 2 of them, to have 2 4-foot bots, even if they are Titans and we haven't seen anything on this scale, it's going to completely reset your whole collection. How can you have a Hazlab Unicron standing at a maximum 33.5 inches tall alongside a 50-foot Titan in Fortress Maximus? It completely resets. It depends how you store your collection, how you have them presented, but this really hits a bit of a reset button, and I don't think we need to adjust our collections accordingly. I think these are one-offs, and I think they are going to be feats of engineering, and companies should be praised for tackling this. But I do think it gets a bit silly with some of the size. I think a lot of people will struggle to house this in their collections. I certainly would. But I do understand that these are tremendous feats of engineering that takes a lot of dedication to do something like this. But when you consider we're at the stage of Titans and Masterpiece scale combiners, to go up to 4-foot city bots seems like a bit of a stretch for people to decide to want to shell out the money. And we could be talking 4 figures worth of money. I don't know, it's a big step for people to adjust their collections to. Anyway, that's just my views on the matter. Your views, of course, may differ. Do leave a note in the comments below. I'd love to know what you think. But thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.